Welcome to the podcast. We talk about all the things that are hidden in shadows. This is Isaac.
And this is Megan.
And we do apologize for being late today and possibly tomorrow morning, depending when you listen to this.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Because it is coming out late Friday.
Because we're recording right now.
Yeah.
So if we can get it out quickly.
Yes.
I'm still in my uniform. Just because how fast we need to go.
Yeah.
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 All right.
Okay.
All right. What's our haunted update of the week?
Haunted update. I don't really think. Oh, yes. Okay. Yes.
It happens so much that we just. Whatever.
Yeah, I think so. I think it's getting to that level where like it's just like, I did see. So I think with my sensitive abilities, that, so I did talk to another person. I reached out, who is a medium, and I told her a little bit about things that I feel and what's going on and all that stuff. And she basically said, I think you have medium capabilities too. And I was like, what? And so, anyways, I have been kind of like, I think I've told last episode, like I was meditating and stuff like that and really getting in my headspace kind of thing. And, I think I'm starting to level up in my abilities because no, exactly. And no, because I thought I was a little bit like, Megan, am I seeing what I'm seeing? Because like I started seeing a lot more stuff in the house. Like before I would maybe like see something past my view, like peripheral view.
Shadow figure.
Yeah, or something like that. I would hear stuff for sure. I would see stuff occasionally, like it was more rare. But it was very quick, very whatever. Anyways, I'm up late one night and I go and we have like this big, it was an add-on room. So it was like this big den. And I turn and I see this little girl, like she's like young, like 2-3 years old. And she's wearing a white long sleeve, like sleeping gown, right? And at the bottom is like frilly. And her hair is like slicked back, like it had just been washed and it was short. But she was like little, like maybe 3. I want to say it's closer to 3, like Killian's age. Like, but it looked like, I don't know. She was looking around and she was confused. And I was like, am I seeing what I'm seeing? Like, I thought, I didn't even have any words to just like, I was like shocked. And as soon as she was there, she was gone. She just looked really confused. Like, why am I here? But that's the only thing. And I saw a woman too this week.
I wasn't
just
talking
chilling.
about that.
What?
I was talking about the thing that was in the bathroom.
Oh yeah. I don't know why. We have this hall bathroom and it's always weird. It's always this odd feeling. And I kept seeing like right when like I wasn't in the shower, but like right when I was getting ready to, I would start seeing this black mist. And I always kind of passed it off. Maybe it's just a shadow, you know, it's a bathroom. It's like kind of like dark already, you know, I'm like kind of dark. And, before I like actually like did the whole taking a shower part, I called Isaac in and I was like, you feel anything in here?
Call me and get rid of it.
Yeah. Basically, because when he does that flexing thing, I mean, the spirits like kind of like leave. So I was like, can you tell the spirit I need some privacy, please? So
now, when you say flexing, it can be interpreted different ways. I don't go in there and flex my muscles.
Oh my God. You're
no, I do.
Well, that's what the paranormal.
That's what he called it. Yeah,
the paranormal investigators that we interviewed, the API. Yeah. When Isaac was telling him what he could do and the things that he experienced, they referred to it as flexing.
Well, it's mostly I'm absorbing dead energy through my hands. Which I actually, you know what, I looked up. It's a form of a psychic vampire.
Oh, geez.
Yeah.
They interviewed you for the vampire episode.
I was reading stuff on it, like psychic vampires and stuff like that, like whether they're true or not. But they described one rare case of psychic vampires that can absorb the energy of the dead. Majority of psychic vampires only can do that to the living. Whether they're real or not, who knows?
I don't really think it's psychic vampires. Like, I think it's like a form of psychic or medium.
But it's strange. It's like it's only with the dead in a sense. Only their energy that they have to absorb or generate in order to do something physical in our plane.
Yeah.
So when I take it away, they can't be there anymore.
Yeah.
So you called me in here to take it away.
Yes, because it's weird. It was weird. Yeah. Like, what? Because I remember I was talking to somebody and they said, like, normal spirits will give you your privacy, you know? But it's the darker ones that they don't know any boundaries. Mm-mm. So I'm like, you know, can I take a shower alone, please? Thank you. Much appreciated. It's weird. It's weird. And it was like, it wasn't all the time. It was like in the corner of my eye. And sometimes like even when I was like in the shower, like I start seeing like black mist from the side peripheral view. So, yeah.
All right. Now on to subject of today on the podcast that we do catch EVPs regularly.
Yeah. So if you ever hear any,
let us know.
Let us know. Yeah. Cause that's happened a couple of times where like I'm editing and I didn't catch something. And then somebody messages in like, hey, did you hear that at so-and-so time? So.
Yes. Subject of today is disappearances in the woods.
Yeah. Or scary things in the woods.
Yeah. Creatures or something.
Yeah. Cause I mean, creatures. So I guess I should start out with the missing 411.
Yeah. Cause I don't know anything about that.
Okay. So missing 411 is basically,
is it area code?
No.
Oh.
So his name is David Paulides, and he basically was a former detective. And he noticed that in national parks, which is like forest and everything else, in the United States, a lot of people were going missing. And he would look at these cases, and there's books and there's documentaries about, you know, his work. And he would look at these cases and he would sit down and he would find strange occurrences with it. And so he went through, debunked like any kind of animal attacks, debunked if it could be another human, you know, because there are serial killers out there and why not in the woods, right?
Or weird mountain men.
Yeah.
What you doing in my land? Pow, pow, pow.
Oh yeah, stuff like that. So he pretty much like got rid of all of those and then re-looked, and there was at least like 1,600 cases of like crazy that he had, you know, researched himself, of missing people and that go missing in national parks. And it's astonishing because there's a huge number of missing people in the United States in general, whether it's, you know, animal attacks, whatever. But he noticed like strange things that would happen with these people. Like, a big chunk of it is missing kids, right? There are some instances where these 2 or 3-year-old kids, were found with their necks snapped and drained of all blood. There was, yeah, well, yeah. They are found without clothes. Right. And that's the thing that kind of made him think that it wasn't any investigator, that it wouldn't be animal attack, because an animal is not going to remove whatever is clothing. It's, you know, going to attack and take with it. So there's a couple instances where the kids are alive. They're found, but they're found like a couple days later in these strange spots with strange stories. Like, one in particular is a little boy. He basically got lost, and normally it's like camping trips or day trips out to like these national parks. And he was found on a little island in the swampland, right? So like this national park had like swampy areas, and he was found on a little island. And when they asked him why he was scared, he said that the cows were chasing him and these black and white creatures.
Wait, cows were chasing him, or were they black and white creatures that he mistaken for cows?
That the article was a little bit unclear, so it could be either or. But
what?
But I mean, I guess he may have associated them with cows, because if it's like darkish, dawn or whatever, dusk. I mean,
yeah,
not dawn, dusk.
Mm.
And then there was one that happened. I think it's called Devil's. First of all, why would you name a national park Devil's Den? It's beyond me. Anyways. Arkansas.
Oh, I was going to say Oregon, but whatever.
Yeah, it's Devil's Den State Park. And it happened in 1947. And this girl, she was 8 years old. I think, yeah, Catherine Van Alst was her name. She was with her family camping. They were at this like little swimming area and she was wearing nothing but a bathing suit. And the parents turn around and it's always the kids are like right there next to the parents. They like the parents get distracted, turn away, and then the kid is gone. So if something were to come up and like some person were to come up and grab them, they would know. I mean, it's too close to not know. Anyways, so somebody they did a search party for her and they ended up finding her like at this random cave and she came out like completely calm, just like, hey guys, how's it going? But it was 600 feet higher than where she was originally found and it was 30 miles away. So if you think someone in a bathing suit is probably barefoot, right?
Mm.
The investigators and the search party were so confused because first of all, she was so calm. She was like, here I am, like just coming out of the cave. And then on top of that, she was wearing a bathing suit and probably no shoes. So the investigators were like, there's no way she could do that. You know, the climbing and then being barefoot in this area. And so there is another person. This was a boy. He was a Cub Scout and he was lost and he was trying to fall asleep. And when they asked him, he said, oh, I had trouble falling asleep because the animals were peeking out behind the trees looking at me. What animal does that?
Predators.
Yeah. So that leaves the question, like, in these national parks, are the people being hunted?
Well,
weird.
If you, there's something that I can't remember if it was TikTok or Instagram or somewhere I saw it, but someone showed a picture of all the major disappearances, unsolved missing cases in the United States.
Yeah.
Right? Missing people. And it showed the United States and it showed all the little red dots where people were missing. And they put it over where all the major known caves are in the United States. And you put it over that map, right? Mm-hmm. They almost 90% line up.
Jeez.
Right? So it makes you wonder what's in the caves, what's hunting us, what's hiding in the shadows.
Ew.
Anyway.
Makes me you want to go to Asheville?
No.
Just kidding.
We go to look around, but it's Brown Mountain.
No, it's mountain-esque and like foresty and all that stuff.
Now,
Brown Mountain lights are over there too.
Yeah. What's in the woods? Mostly animals and wood areas. But, there are plenty of things that are unknown because you think about the woods themselves, it's almost like the ocean. We have not scouted the entire mountain forest range. I mean, one person walks up, they map it out. Okay, this entire area. Have they gone through every single inch of it? No.
Yeah.
Some mountain men, some major guys who hike and camp all the time still have not yet to visit every inch of certain map areas.
Yeah.
And then there's the caves. There's cave, we call it, what's I'm looking for? Tunnels. Caves, that go deep and far and twist and get into places where people can't get to. And some of the best spelunkers, you know what a spelunker is, right?
No.
Spelunking?
Splunking?
It's cave diving.
Oh my God, that's terrifying. Like, I feel, you know what terrifies me? Like, caves like that. And then, like those, like, I guess it's like part of the caves. Like, it's like where it's.
Don't watch The Descent.
It's like water. Yeah, someone told me about that. Yeah. It's like the water, right? And then, like, you have to swim, you scuba dive, but then you pop up, like, in a cave. You're going in, like, a tunnel underwater, and then you pop up in a cave. That is terrifying.
Yeah.
To me. Terrifying. Like, and then put it in the woods. And then what if, like, you go into the tunnel, you pop up in this cave, and there's mirrors? That's, like, my horrid nightmare.
So, amongst many things that have been found in the woods of aliens, Bigfoot, I mean, you can count different creatures and monsters. There's even real things that can be terrifying. Like a mountain lion, when it's in heat, screams like a woman.
Oh, yeah.
And if you don't know what it is, you literally sound it like, if you think it's a witch that's screaming somewhere, or like a woman dying, just like, but.
Yeah, it's like,
No, like,
yeah,
it's really loud
terrifying.
and stuff like that. Like a guy filmed one where he was, I guess, in his barn, and it was near in the woods.
Ugh.
Like even my stuff on my ranch, when we heard that thing in the woods, we didn't know what it was. I mean, there's a lot of things that hide in the woods come because they're hiding from man, or that's where their main dwelling places are.
Yeah,
we pushed a lot of animals out of areas where they were, like major cities where they're standing right now, was forest land at some point in time.
Yeah.
So I mean, people get, like the Mothman, right? Or even the Jersey Devil and stuff like that, how it was in New Jersey at a time when there was no people. And now that we're like cities there and stuff like that, I mean, he could technically dwell in the forests or national parks now.
Yeah.
Or if he was real, who knows, Where was I going with this? That's what I forgot. I'm tired. Anyway, but when the cases come to aliens, there's actually one story that I read of, whether it's true or not, of a park ranger. And they asked him what was the most scariest thing you ever experienced or at least encountered. And his was a 3-part series that you can listen on Beatbuster. But I'm going to make a bridge version. Or short version, sorry. He started his shift working in this certain part of the northeast, he said. So I would say Washington, Oregon. He didn't give the exact place because he didn't want to get in trouble.
Northwest.
East. West, sorry.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm tired. Shut it. Anyway, and they had cameras aimed at trail lines and where people would camp. So they had, when people went missing, or not say missing, but they would have it at major points in the campgrounds aimed at the trail lines, so they know people coming in, coming out, and that's surrounding the park ranger station.
Yeah.
And they kept one of his first second day, these people didn't check back in. Because when you go out to campsite, right, you camp and you're done, you're supposed to check back in after the next day. They didn't. So him and another ranger went up to the campsite where they were. Now, where their campsite was from the ranger station was about 200 yards, and it went up the side of the mountain. So it went kind of up. So it was almost like if you were at the campsite, you probably got a good view of the woods and stuff like that. When they went up there, they didn't find anybody, but they did find the tent slashed, shredded, and blood everywhere, but no bodies. So no idea what happened. They could claim animal attack or something, but where's the people's bodies or anything like that? Because there was a good group of people in it. They're like 4 or 5 kids, like teenagers. Nothing. So, of course, a search party was put out, and they actually closed that side of the thing down. And they brought the range of the camp, how far people can camp, they brought it inward by a good, mile or so. Because it went out pretty far, but they brought it in closer. And remember, they said the next time something happened like that, the other ranger, I guess the guy that was in charge, the manager, was up there at the campsite with apparently some government officials, right? I guess a head ranger or whatever like that was up at the campsite with a couple of people in suits, right? Because he thought maybe been like detectives, or he didn't have no idea. When the guy came down, he quit from the campsite. He said, "I'm done. I'm staying here anymore," and he quit. So another guy had to step out as manager. Right. And, another situation happened again. Some people went missing, and, but they had the area on camera, and the manager, the new one, was watching the footage. He didn't say anything. He looked immediately freaked out. Like the guy, our main person, didn't have no idea what was going on, why the manager looked like that, why is he all freaked out, right? And he said, "Don't watch this tape. Actually, you know what? Give it to me. I need to send it off." And then he didn't show up to work the next day.
Jeez.
But and then because of that missing case, they had to bring the campsite even more. So much to a point that he could look over the ranger station and see the campsite. That's how close the people were. Because he kept having these disappearances. And they even got more cameras. And situation happened to a point where a division of the government that's job, this is the real division. Mm-hmm. I forgot the name of it. They're the acronym. But their main job is to clean up parks. This division in vans with this logo on the side of it showed up at night armed to the teeth with weapons. Because they saw what their weapons the Rangers had. And the head of this division, whatever it was, walked in there, looked and was like, huh, that's cute. At the guns that they had.
Yeah.
Like, this wasn't going to do anything. And they went into the woods. This division. Guys that are armed that look like part of SWAT.
Wow.
Went into the woods, disappeared for a period of time, and only like a few of them came back. Like I said, at least like 10 went out and like 4 came back.
Oh my gosh.
And one of the 4 was like the head guy.
Yeah.
Right? And they had blood on their uniforms like that. They're out of ammo. Some of them were injured wherever they went.
What? That is terrifying.
So were they hunting the animal or were they aliens? Who the fuck knows?
Oh my gosh.
There's something in the woods.
Could you imagine working in a division like that? Oh, that's absolutely.
It's a real division.
I know.
Yeah, I forgot the acronym of it. I got to listen to the story again. But yeah, he basically talked about it's like the scary ranger stories.
Yeah, well, that's scary. Well, that's the thing, like, kind of digging into all this, I started looking at, like, park ranger stories.
Yeah.
Those are terrifying.
And some guys talk about seeing Bigfoot and stuff like that.
Yeah. Which makes me think maybe some of these disappearances could be, like, a Sasquatch type creature or Bigfoot or, you know what I mean? Like, that would make sense. Because I was talking to my sister about this, and it would make sense why they go after, like, kids. Because, I mean, a kid wouldn't necessarily put up a fight. And if they're kind of smart, they would know that. You know what I mean? Like, oh, the big humans, it's harder to, you know, kill them. The smaller humans are easy to take, you know? Because, you know, obviously Bigfoot is bigger than an average human. But, I mean, it's even bigger than a kid. You know what I mean?
What's funny is that, I mean, if I lived in the country majority of my life. Mm-hmm. And I dealt outside. I mean, there was no city lights where I lived. Out on the ranch, right? And it was surrounded by woods, but it wasn't very tall woods. But at least woods that you can go into and essentially get lost if you didn't know your way. But if I ran one direction, go into the woods behind my ranch, I would hit a highway or someone else's house. So it wasn't like it was like in the middle of the wilderness, but it was still woods.
Yeah.
And going with my uncle one time to track a deer that we shot when I went hunting with him it told me how dense these woods actually were. Mm-hmm. Right? How you have to find a certain path, and some places you can't actually go through because the bush is so thick. I say bush like it's like the Australia or something. But no. It just made me think that if something was living in there, mostly animals, obviously, but if a creature, something that we haven't discovered, or aliens wanted to hide there, it'd be easy. Hence why we see a lot of alien activity north of the country.
Yeah.
Still wooded, you know, Canada, Alaska areas, and even the Northeast and Northwest.
Yeah.
Where it's still essentially rural when it comes to the woods. And why they can easily hide, right? I'm probably going to call him out, but we had a post or something saying about how humans manifest our own fears.
Yeah, we had a post. I believe it was talking about. I think it was. Yeah, it was talking about this episode. It was the one where it's like the movie of like the fire or whatever, or like a picture of the fire. It's like a animated thing of the fire, and it's like scariest things in the woods or whatever. Mm-hmm. It was like giving a preview to this episode, and someone had commented, and honestly it was like someone that doesn't really follow us. It was just someone that kind of like maybe stumbled upon it through a hashtag kind of thing, because there was hashtags on it, And there was actually like one person kind of like defending the woods, like, you shouldn't be scared of the woods. Woods are beautiful and stuff like that. There was that person. And there was another person that was like, he or she, I can't even remember, was like interesting, and then gave a big thing about basically how all the paranormal stuff we're kind of talking about is manifestation.
Now, normally I don't do that, but I'm not one. I would normally won't call on people, but I'm not one to run away from confrontation.
Yeah.
Perfect, I guess, explanation of why we don't know what's in the woods, and how saying my mind is playing tricks on me is the most dangerous and scariest thing you can say. If your mind has that much ability over what you see, then you might have more problems than you thought.
Yeah.
Manifestation, in a sense of that reality, is something that some of us have an ability to do, but not all of us. And yes, in instances of fear, your mind will go to the worst places. Every creak, every crack, every branch broken, you instantly think of something dangerous and dark. A simple shadow can look like a monster to you when really it's just your own.
Yeah.
We're not talking about that. We're not talking about fear that comes with being in the woods with people like that. I'm talking about the actual things that have been in there, things of stories and people have told, from different ghost stories, from witches, from demons, from different things that have been found in the woods that are real, that all cause fear to other people.
Yeah.
If humans, by the way, there's something that probably bring up, but it has nothing to do with any other subject, but it probably relates into this. The CIA recently released reports, declassified reports on them believing manifestation of the mind, psychic abilities, mediums, astral projection. And they thought that we live in essentially our own realities is our own perception. You know, people say that it's like reality, perception is reality or whatever like that, right?
Yeah.
But they were saying in the sense that your reality is your perception. Which doesn't make 100% sense. Which means if you're not in my view, if you're not in my thoughts, you cease to exist to me. But what about you who doesn't know me? Or someone else who doesn't know who I exist? So I don't exist in their reality, but they exist in mine because I'm not necessarily thinking about them.
Yeah.
They're there regardless if I do or not. So I don't think that's 100% what they meant. I think they were working on the idea of that because that is a theory of quantum mechanics. Is that reality only exists in your reality. That you only see me because I am right here in front of you and I'm in your thoughts. If I'm not, I cease to exist.
Yeah.
For that period of time. But I have theories on that. Not conspiracy, but theories on that why the CIA did that. Yeah. The CIA doesn't release anything if they don't believe it to be true. Right? They did testing, they did the whole thing, found some evidence, but other from that, they like, whatever, fuck it, get rid of it. Or they do it to see what would happen.
Yeah.
That's my theory. I think they released it. Logical reason, they don't believe into it. They did testing. They probably tested certain people, which they did back in the 60s. I think that's what the movie Men Staring at Ghosts was about. Yeah. With psychic warriors and stuff like that to try to, remote view the enemy, read minds, get information, right? They actually had that real program. Hitler had the same thing when he was in World War II, try to make psychic soldiers, and that was a whole different thing. He believed deeply in the occult. Hitler did. Yeah. But that was that. And in the 60s, they brought up the same program to try to do it with American soldiers. Didn't work out the best they wanted to. And I guarantee what was released, I forgot the name of the project, was the same thing they were doing, but on the side of psychic mediums and astral projections and spirit and stuff like that. They would only release it if they believed it wasn't worth keeping. Yeah. Or they released it so people who have somewhat of an ability will read it, think on it, practice it, and strengthen their abilities. Or, part 3, those who already do have their abilities will, acknowledge. Because if you acknowledge, because there's this old thought that if you 100% believe something to be true, you can make it true. Yeah. No one ever believes in anything 100%. Yeah. Because there's always that little smidgen of doubt. And that little smidgen of doubt will prevent you from doing it. If you 100% believe you can fly, right? Who says you can't? Yeah. Well, science and, gravity and all that other stuff, that makes sense. But because of that simple that thought of doubt keeps you from doing it. Now, that's that process that was in this report, that if you manifest your own reality, you can create it. Yeah. Well, if that's true, then anyone can create any reality they want. Or it takes a group. Now, that's a psychomantium kind of thing that if enough people believe on one specific thing, they can make it real. There's a horror movie made about that where some 3 people, they were like college kids, and there's like part of an experiment. And they put in these helmets that created, instead of one thought in their head, there was 1,000 people thinking the same thought. So they basically multiplied their thought process by 1,000.
Oh, wow.
So they had 3,000 people thinking the same thing, trying to make the statue a haunted object. Was their idea. So a psychomantium idea of, if you think of something is haunted, if you create it, then that, because they were trying to disprove the existence of ghosts, thinking that because majority of people believe in them, it makes them real.
Yeah.
Now, if manifestation creation is like that, then maybe that'd be the answer to a lot of things, but I don't think that's true, because people who don't believe in ghosts at all, have no fear of it, experience it.
Yeah.
So why would their manifestation of something that they don't believe in happen to them?
Yeah, or like serious skeptics that like don't even think.
Like they have all the doubt in the world, no, this doesn't exist, and they experience one thing. It's out of their control. And I guarantee they still have doubts in their mind whether it's true or not. Oh, my mind's playing tricks on me. Oh, is the light.
Yeah.
Oh, is the pipes creaking. Like, they make all the excuses in the world for it not to be real. So, why would the CIA release it late this year?
Well, here's a good thing too.
Before you start on that.
Okay.
Is because there's that great planning alignment that's happening between the 21st and 25th of December.
Oh, yeah.
So, logical reason number one.
Supposed.
Yeah, supposed. Be a great awakening. So, if they are looking for people that have the actual abilities and stuff like that, and they release it after that first great awakening that happened apparently in September, right? They released it, November, I think this year?
Yeah.
The CIA did. They're trying to, one, find if anyone actually does have these abilities. And if they do find people who have these abilities, who knows what they will do? Whether they kidnap them, hire them, train them, use them, whatsoever. If they can actually find these actual people who actually can do these things, like me and you, they can use them for what they need.
Well, that's like the thing.
Or the more logical excuse, they don't believe it, and they just like, fuck, I'll release it, I don't care.
Well, that's the thing, like, with the whole manifestation. Like, I know, like, as a kid, I did not manifest the stuff that I saw. And I don't get how someone can manifest if, like, for instance, you take the Hat Man, right? People all over the world have seen this guy, right? Whether you have psychic abilities or not, sometimes he pops up. How can that many people, you know what I mean, manifest that?
Well, there's,
and if it's some, and then it's just confusing. I don't.
Well, this is scientific mind thought thing. I forget what it's called, but it's in the idea that your mind filters out a lot of the stuff that you experience in a day, just so you're not thinking about it all the time, and you can focus on what you need to. So your mind filters a lot of stuff out. If I say your hand itches, or I talk about your feet, or I say blinking, right? Now you're thinking about that. Now you're thinking about your blinking, which is annoying when people talk about it, because, oh crap, now I gotta remember how to blink. Instead of you just naturally doing it.
Yeah.
Instead of if I say your knee, automatically you can feel your knee. You didn't before because it wasn't important at the moment in time.
Yeah.
Or like the back of your head, or anything like that, then automatically you're thinking about it. So when people say, oh, I hate PT Cruisers, right? And all of a sudden you start seeing them everywhere.
Oh, yeah.
They were always there. You just filter them out.
Yeah.
Right? So that makes me think. Are ghosts?
Are you stroking your stash right now?
Yeah. Can you hear it? Can you hear that crunching?
I am. So, okay.
So it makes me wonder, are ghosts something that most people filter out because it's unrealistic to them, so they don't see it? But when it happens, it basically just opens the floodgates in a sense.
Yeah. Because, I know what I've seen. I have not manifested.
No.
Like, because there's some things, like, I don't, like, when I was younger, I ultimately did not want to see ghosts. I did not want to hear ghosts. And they would just show up. Like, I would be, like, just thinking, just in my room, nothing scary. And then, like, I'd hear, like, Megan, or tapping or scratching or see like shadow people in my peripheral view, I mean, I didn't manifest that.
And if that's true, then people would be able to take away their pain, take away their sickness, and whatever else they could think 100% on. Now, there are, Tibetan Buddhists and medicine men from different worlds who have learned body techniques and mental techniques to rid away of things with concentration and meditation. That stuff is real. Is that great with your manifestation? I don't think so. I think it has a more willpower. If you can 100% control of your body, you can tell it what to do.
Yeah.
So, when it comes to manifestation in the woods, there are things out there that we do not know about. There's endless amounts of woods when it comes to disappearances, especially when I just said about the caves.
Mm-hmm.
People have gone missing in caves. Or they gone missing near caves.
Yeah, that to me is
Or have had people come out of caves that were green.
What?
You heard about that thing in Ireland?
No.
It was in Ireland or somewhere like that. Some 2 kids showed up out of a cave, speaking some weird language, wearing weird clothes, and their skin was green.
Ew, get out of here.
Hair,
that's creepy.
And the skin was green, right? The boy eventually died because for some reason, and the girl lived on, and she originally lost her green pigmentation over time.
Mm-hmm.
When she learned to speak the language, she talked about she came from a land where everything was colored differently.
What?
Yeah. And she came out of a cave somewhere in Ireland. The Green Kids of, I forget where the land was called, but you should look it up. It's pretty interesting. But yeah, they came out of a cave.
What?
And
that's the one thing about the podcast, my mind keeps getting blown because of the research you have to kind of like do. It's like I knew like basic stuff on these subjects, but like, geez Louise.
And there's even, you know what I've never looked on?
Huh?
Was the Paris catacombs man-made, or we discovered those catacombs and we just built into them?
That's kind of interesting.
Or do they lead to other caves underneath Paris? Yeah, because even the Paris catacombs that they built to hide but store all the bodies of the people who died during the plagues, right? Have footage of weird shit down there.
Yeah, that's like, I think I've said it before, like on one of our episodes, is like that if I had like endless amounts of money and I was able to like, if I could have a map when I go down there or something where I know I'm not going to get lost, that would probably be the place I would go. I feel like I would probably, oh my God.
Well, the dead energy down there's got to be massive.
Third eye would just be bulging out.
Yeah.
It would be so prevalent, I'd probably have an actual third eye come out of my head.
Was that Cyclops? Yeah.
No, it's just my spiritual eye.
Yeah.
Okay.
You're
Are
weird.
you shaking your head at me?
Yeah.
I feel like I get that all the time in daily doses.
Oh, crap. Now we've been in time for ads, but we don't have any more, do we?
Nope.
No.
But I'm gonna throw one in there anyways because I seriously like in the past couple episodes we've been advertising Scary Time, which is basically kind of like a grouping of indie creators. There's new episodes every week.
No one gets any ads for free.
Oh my gosh.
Everybody pays for them.
Oh my gosh, no. And basically, if you guys are fans of Believe in the Bizarre, they have an episode up there. We have an episode up there. We have our Black Eyed Children's episode, but basically it's like an episode from different indie creators, podcasters. Scary Time. Oh my God.
What?
Did you just pop a squally?
There's a whop.
Oh my gosh. Anyways. Sorry. That's weird terminology. I made that up. Okay. Throw that in with the a burly man bottom belch.
Which we are working on those.
Yeah. Anyways. So. You just made me lose my train of thought. Scary Time, yes. So I would highly recommend them. They're on all platforms. And it's basically like you have a playlist kind of situation of different paranormal like podcasts, scary podcast. And you listen to an episode apiece. and you do an episode a piece, and it basically lets you into the world of paranormal podcasts to kind of find out what you like, you know, what podcasters you want to go like more in depth with, binge listen and whatever. But yeah, they also have some social medias. If you go back on previous episodes of ours, so like vampires, hotbed ranches, all of that information is in the description of the episode.
So everybody actually knows any people who want some advertisement on our part? Guide them there.
Okay, that was not even English.
I said guide them our way.
Yeah. So anybody out there that's listening that wants to place an ad in our, so if you guys know anybody that wants to place ads in our stuff, or if you want to place an ad in our stuff, then, just DM us or email us. All that information is, in our Instagram, and on our episode descriptions and stuff. Also, if you actually prefer to watch, or listen to us on YouTube, we're also on YouTube. So every week that we upload an episode, onto the podcast platform, we also upload it on YouTube too.
Yeah. Sorry,
that was a lot of information.
All right. So, one of the main things that I think about when it comes to the woods, why I don't say I'm just too afraid, but I mean, I've heard, like I said, endless stories about people camping, hearing weird crap, and it's the idea of isolation when you're home, when you're alone, essentially, which is not to say one of my deepest fears of the woods. The woods, I think, would be fine. I think just trying to survive would be a challenge on its own.
Yeah,
because I'd probably kill something and eat it.
What is that? Because I get all the creatures sometimes like mixed up. What is the creature that like the guy went camping and he's in the camp and he thought he heard his girlfriend being called outside?
Oh, it was a Wendigo.
Wendigo, yes. That terrifies me. And I think that's why, because there's a part of North Carolina that is very like rural and mountainous, and it's like Asheville, Bryson City, Boone, like that part on the west, like bordering like Tennessee. And I've always felt like a need to go out there, like to go, not like camp, because I'm not a camping tent type of girl. Mm-hmm. I'm more of a log cabin where it's like happy medium and you go for daily hikes, but then you're like in a stable building.
Electricity.
Yeah. Well, stable building.
And a toilet.
Yeah. Stable.
Pooping in the
woods.
Not
even that. It's just like, okay, you're literally laying on the ground in like a paper tent. It's plastic. Not paper, but plastic, that like it's material. Like you don't have any chance really except for running literally. And then there's bears. There's like, I'd rather, cause like for sure there's bear, like they're known for bears, black bears out there. So yeah, tent's not my thing. I'd rather be like in an RV or, even they kind of scare me. I'd just rather be in like a log cabin, like a stable log cabin, not like a log cabin that you go in there and it's just a room. Like a log cabin that actually has like a kitchen, stove, and all that stuff. Now,
there's plenty of people that have survived in the woods on their own. Mountain men and, survivalists when it comes to being in the woods. And a lot of them say they've seen and heard weird things. Hell, even your dad did it on occasion when he was young.
Yeah.
Would go in the woods and just hang out, essentially.
So weird.
Yeah. Well, Virginia. But
let's go down to the woods and just chill out. We'll count the bark on the trees.
And he said he never really experienced anything strange. He's heard a lot of strange things, but he chalked it up to animals, which you essentially can't.
But you got to think too. Even humans are scary in the woods, right? Like a lot of satanic stuff takes place in the woods. Like the woods that were in the back of, and people that listen to us regularly have heard me talk about the woods that were in the back of the place that we lived in Texas. Like it was, the backyard was the woods. I would not go near that, like hotbed ranches. We talked about it. I would not go near those woods. Like, and I remember I showed a picture of the woods before to a medium and they said, yeah, there's some like satanic stuff going on in those woods. Actually multiple medium friends of mine have said that. Because I was just curious why I was so terrified of those woods. And I would, excuse me. I would always feel like someone was watching me too. Cause we had this like rope swing from this tree and I would always just swing and it was like not in the woods, but it was like, I mean, it was near the woods. So I would put my headphones in, swing, listen to music. And, yeah, I'd always feel like someone was watching me. I always put it to you this way. It was like subconscious in my mind to keep one earphone out just in case, even though I had like the family dogs next to me, but like, to always keep the earphone out because I felt like if I needed to hear what was going on. Weird. Oh, I hate those woods. I don't think I would ever go back. Like,
now, would it be more scary if you went like hiking to the woods and you like kind of went off the path or something?
Oh my gosh.
And we came across a cave opening with like, it looked like there was like a blood being, like something bloody was dragged into there, or finding a, like a half fallen apart, like house in the woods. Like there's no, like it's the middle of nowhere essentially. Like a cabin made of stone or something.
Okay. I think there's two different things. Like, okay, a cave is kind of, it's endless. You don't really know, not endless, but like there's length to it. With a house, the thing about the house is you don't know, well, both you really don't know what you're getting into.
Yeah.
Because a house could literally just be a house, but then when you think about it, like
it's falling apart and it's like,
it could also be like a serial killer, someone like that. It could be like someone that's kind of crazy that, doesn't like people, so they live in a house of solitude. Have you ever seen those, weird, like swamp houses that like weird people live in? Like swamp houses, like it's in the middle of a swamp. It's a hut.
Yeah, shack.
Yeah, kind of. I've read stories about weird stuff going on there. Like I couldn't do swamps either. If you think like me saying, "Oh, I wouldn't do that." Oh my God, that terrifies me. Probably wondering what the heck is Megan doing in the paranormal world then? I mean, just because I'm scared doesn't mean I'm not intrigued. That's my problem.
We say woods, like northern or United States area, right? I guarantee the rainforest.
Oh, shoot. No
or
thanks.
Jungles are far more intense because there's a lot of things in there that naturally can kill you.
Yeah.
Not alone what might be hiding in there.
Could you imagine walking in a panther or an anaconda?
Or you got mountain lions and you got rattlesnakes around.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
You're trading one for the other. But I'm talking about some of the, my people's legends of creatures and that live in the jungles and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, the woods are just terrifying. Like, I mean, there's obviously beauty because it's like pure nature. Like, I mean, walking through like wooded areas, it's what the world was before, everything. So, that's why I was like, I'm not the type of person, like during the day, I'm okay in the woods. When we start hitting like dusk and
like you're walking here, crack in the woods, like, who's that?
Yeah. No.
That's why if we went hiking, I'd probably bring a biggest knife or several of them if I could. I'd rather would have a gun just to shoot something that came running at me.
Yeah. No, I always get weary. I don't know why. It's funny though, when I think about it, I think about all of the hikes and stuff that I've been on because my parents are weirdos and like they love hiking and love the outdoors. Like if they could just be in a tent in the middle of the nature. Yeah. I mean, it's not weird. I mean, but it's not my speed. I don't think it's any of my siblings' speeds at all. Like I don't think any of my siblings like doing that. But they keep going to this, this place in the trees. Like it's not really a forest. It's like, it's actually like borders a beach. And oh my gosh.
I don't think I even heard that.
I'm pretty sure these mics picked that up.
All right.
Gosh. It's nighttime.
I gotta bring the farts back. We haven't heard them a while. Oh my God, on the podcast.
Nightly ghostly gas. Gosh.
Yeah. I gotta keep my namesake.
Oh my gosh. Anyways. So, no, they go in the trees at this place are just like bad vibes. Like,
maybe we should go over there.
It's Hammock State Park. And the investigators, I watched, API did an interview at I think a local like radio station, and they were talking about there's something with the trees. There's a history with the trees. And, yeah. So it's very creepy. Maybe we might do a live there. Who knows? That would be kind of cool.
Look around. Now, in one of the legends of North Carolina, when it comes to the woods, is the Devil's Stamping Ground.
Oh, yeah. Tramping ground. Yeah.
Tramping ground, stomping ground.
Yeah. It's in Bear Creek, I think.
Yeah.
North Carolina.
Basically, he made a circle pit in the woods.
Yeah. People have camped inside of the circle, and by the end of the night have ended up outside of the circle. Dogs
and nothing
howl.
grows in there except for like almost like dead grass.
Yeah.
Nothing grows in the center.
Yeah. Yeah. Hopefully, in the future, we can actually start going to some of these places and take you guys essentially with us in some way, shape, or form. But you know, like with COVID and all that stuff,
it's really hard to travel.
Yeah, it's hard, you know, because some places are worse than others, even though that's kind of like remote. But
I don't have to hike my way over there. They have a trail to it.
No, I think it's on the. I think it's on the western part of North Carolina. I think. Don't hold me to that.
I'm not talking about driving. I'm talking about hiking over there.
Oh, yeah.
Hiking into the woods to get there.
I
don't have the shoes.
Oh my god. Yeah. But there's also too the Brown Mountain Lights, which is like these strange.
People chalk it up to paranormal. People chalk it up to alien stuff.
Yeah, who the heck knows? It is in a foresty area. But yeah, so woods are kind of scary.
I'll say kind of. They are, and I said, man.
But I think that's anything that like
is unknown.
Unknown, yeah, like the paranormal world in general. You know, even though there's a lot of like subgenres of the paranormal, you know, like aliens, cryptids.
I mean, people like want to say like, "Oh, you city slickers, you can't handle the woods because you always get scared of everything." I'm like, dude, I live in, you know, the middle of fucking nowhere.
Yeah, and
it's still the idea of going in there in the middle of nowhere that terrifies me. But it's like I don't know. My ranch alone has experienced so many weird shit. But going to someplace like that, to the unknown in that level.
Well, when you think about it too, like one of the horror movies that terrified me as a kid, it doesn't really, I mean, the idea of it kind of terrifies me. But like you think of the Blair Witch Project,
mm-hmm.
that the idea too of being able to be lost, like that's what.
They didn't hear it.
Oh my gosh, Sky.
I'm gassy.
Okay.
You take a poop and you uncork yourself.
Oh my god. Okay. All right. Okay. We need to stick on ghostly talk, not gassy talk.
Shut
up. Crack my own self up.
But, in conclusion, some of the scariest things in the woods are still unknown to us. And scary stories, whether true or not, happen enough for us to believe.
Yeah.
For those who actually camp a lot and, you know, hike a lot and probably have never experienced anything, kudos to you.
Yeah.
I guarantee our first time ever trying to, I'm probably going to run into something. And it's just maybe our bad luck or just because of who we are.
Yeah.
But I know one thing for sure I'm never going to do is go in a cave. You know what's funny? I remember one more thing. I've actually been in caves before, and in Texas, we use a
like caverns,
natural bridge caverns. Anyone who lives in New Braunfels or Blanco, I was in Blanco, Texas, but in the area of New Braunfels, Texas, they know about the natural bridge caverns, which I guarantee if you were there, even the San Antonio kids went there. It's like a field trip. You went there,
yeah.
And I went into the caves, and going into them, right? Of course, they have the path, and you walk and you see, and it's pretty open in some places. They even brought us to a place where apparently bank robbers would basically, you know, climb down a rope down into the center of the cave and hide the loot.
Oh wow, that's interesting.
Until they got caught, obviously. But yeah, Natural Bridge Caverns was originally found because of that, because they used it to hide the loot that they had, because it was, of course, no one's gonna look in a cave. And they turned off the lights and to show how dark it is. I can't see my own hand in front of me. It was that dark. If you didn't have a light source, you were making your way out of there. Ugh. And there were some parts where they said it had tar buildup, right? Natural tar. Mm-hmm. And if you stepped on it and you basically try to pull your shoe off, your shoe would be stuck.
Wow.
Like you couldn't, you would get stuck in there if you would get. It's like sticky trap for humans, essentially.
Jeez.
So that alone. Me remembering that when we talked about doing this episode, that reminded me of that time. And I was like, Well, shit. If you were going to a cave with no light source, what majority of them are?
Yeah.
Not even a flare, a torch, whatever, of any kind.
Well, that's the scary thing.
You get lost quick. And any sound you hear, any like droplet or like that, instantly like, what the fuck?
8-year-old girl that was in the cave in 1947 didn't have a flashlight.
Yeah. So either she was transported, teleported,
or any kind of light source, I should say,
or something took her through the caves that they know the way around and all the way up to the other opening to another cave where she was like popped down.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Shivers. Creepy.
Well, I know everyone was waiting for this episode, or at least one person, which you can give a shout out right now.
Yep. So we are officially doing a shout out to Jose.
Thanks for being a friend.
Yeah. Thanks for always listening and reaching out and talking about some.
What's his last name? You don't know. I don't know, but I'm asking you.
Leon.
Leon. Jose Leon.
Yeah.
Should I say he has 2 first names?
I don't know.
Like Ricky Bobby.
I just know him as Jose.
Anyway, yeah. Thanks for being a fan, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was looking forward to this episode, and he was like, "Hey, is the episode out yet? Is the episode out yet?" And I was like, "It's gonna be a late one. It's gonna be a late one."
Yeah.
Sorry. But yeah. So Jose, this episode is dedicated to Zoo.
But you start doing more of those.
Yeah, definitely do. Like, anybody that reaches out to us and is consistently like, we like your stuff, you guys are awesome, whatever. Definitely
appreciate it.
Yeah, because it means a lot to us. And it's good to know that we're, doing something right here in the paranormal podcasting world.
Yeah, because we started this back in, what?
July. No.
April?
Was it?
I don't remember.
It was either May, June, or July. It was during, it was right. Yeah, it had to be May, I want to say.
Yeah.
I want to say May.
So even if we haven't had this for a year yet, then we already got good traction. So.
Yeah, so hopefully, keeps up.
No, we started the podcast. We started NYAC.
No, NYAC was January. That I know for sure.
Oh, okay, never mind. I'll never resurrect that from the dead.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe we'll go back to it at a later date. It's just basically our podcast before this one, and it was basically talking about everything.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't paranormal based. It was, I would say we were pretty funny on it.
Yeah.
Talked about, it was really loose conversation.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I did have some people, reach out to us, if we were going to have merch. We do have some more free stickers. So if anybody wants a free, logo sticker from us, reach out. As far as merch goes, we're trying to get it done. We just want to we're trying to explore our options to see what we could do to give you guys the best quality, with the best price for you guys, because we don't want to overcharge. Because some of the sites that we were looking at using possibly for drop shipping before, because there was a couple times we did mention merch. It was just it was just too, I just felt like it wasn't on par. We want to deliver something that's nice for you guys. It becomes one of your favorite t-shirts or jacket or whatever. Hoodie.
Yeah. So you guys want to stick it, just let us know.
Yes.
Through Instagram or whatever.
And next week's episode, there's a trailer out, our first ever episode trailer that we put together. It is out on Instagram, but our next week episode is going to be Aliens Part 2.
Yes.
And also we're going to actually start doing a bonus episode, 1 per month, and it's going to be random dates, or a date in the month. And it's going to be kind of the spooky season bonus episodes where we were interviewing people in the paranormal world. And this one is going to be, I believe it comes out December 9th, that Wednesday before our weekly episode. And it's going to be with Chaz. And he basically has a book that he wrote that I don't want to give too much away, that, he's going to be talking about, and plus some other cool topics, including aliens and stuff like that. So it's going to be a good time. Isaac is going to be the interviewer. And yeah, so.
Also, check out our Instagram at Hidden in the Shadows Podcast. Also our Twitter at Hidden in the Shaw 6.
And now
our TikTok.
Our TikTok, yeah. So hopefully we are going to be uploading almost every day because I've gotten obsessed with doing TikTok videos on like scary stuff and spooky stuff.
And I have to get around to it. I'll probably start posting my own at Isaac Octane. You can find me there. I'm going to start posting videos on just my random thoughts. And it'll be everything from paranormal to metal music to wrestling to just random thoughts, just stuff I'm mulling around in my head. Just maybe you guys think the same. Maybe maybe it's something you didn't think about before. Who knows?
Yeah. So our TikTok is Hidden in the Shadows Podca too.
Podca? Podca? Let's do the podcast.
Sorry. It's like Twitter. It did the
I know,
Hidden
it gives
in
you
the
your
Shaw.
own. Yeah.
So it's Hidden in the Shadows and then pod and then CA2. And if you click our link.
CA1. Sons of bitches taking our name.
But if you click on the link in our bio in the Instagram, it has literally all of the ways to listen and all of the ways to like all of our social medias, all of our ways to contact us. So all in clickable links.
Yes.
So yeah.
So next week's episode is Aliens 2. We'll also have a bonus that Wednesday.
Yeah.
With
Wednesday. Chaz. Yeah.
I feel like that's not his real name.
It is his real name. His name is Chaz.
Anyway. So I feel like I didn't say it isn't. Yeah. Anyway. Hope you guys enjoyed this episode, and we'll catch your widows in the next one.
Yes.